Hey everyone, welcome to my channel ASP.NET Core, and today we are going to show you how to the next video of survey system. And in this video just I'm going to add the next one, that is the data seeking part. Okay, so in this video just I'm going to add a default admin as well as the role for the application. And if you want to create a new role in your application, then you have to use role manager class. And if you want to use admin, the default application admin for your application, then you have to add that is okay. So you have to create a new service for your data seeding part, that is IDB initializer. And in the IDB initializer you have to add a new initial method. Okay, so after that you have to add that is initial method. And in this video just I'm going to add a DB initializer class, that is the concrete class. So here we have IDB initializer, and that is IDB initializer is actually implemented by the IDB initializer. So in which this is the very basic things you have to add, that is class DB initializer and IDB initializer. So in this concrete class you have to use user manager as well as the role manager class. Okay, so the basic terminology is user manager and the role manager. By using the user manager, you have to add a new user as well as the role manager. Now, by using, you have to use add new roles for the application. Okay. Now, that is the good part for your application. Okay, so now just we have some information for the user manager, and you can use constructor. Just initialize your constructor dependency injection for your application, for your user manager as well as the role manager. In the initial method you have to check that is a role is already exist or not. So first of all you have to check admin role. If admin is not added in your application as a role, then you have to create a new user as well as a new role. So the basic things is just like add async and task. Okay, so just make a taskable type application instead of the void. Okay, so here we have just role manager dot role exist async, and just after that you have to add a new user as well after creating the admin and the default user. You can say that use customer role for your application. Okay. Now you can see that here we have just use role manager dot create async and use new identity role, and in which you can just pass in the constructor that is the name of the role, that is admin. By using the get awaiter and get result you have to remove the taskable type result, and then you have to get that is the man succeeded result. Okay. Okay, now after that you have to add a new user, that is the application user, and after that you have to add a new username for your application. You know that the username have the same is the similar to with the email. So just you can use email as a username, and email also the same for the username, but the admin password is and that is admin at the rate 1234, that and start with the password. So just you can use a username, that is admin at the rate of gmail.com, and the name email is admin at the rate gmail.com. Now after that you have to use user manager dot create async user. Now you can see that user as a, that is the user manager dot create async user, and that is the password. Okay, now after that you can just go for the get awaiter as well as the get result. So there is, and now after that you can use uh, that is just after that adding the new user, you have to search the user that is already created or not by using the email field. So you can use app user, and by using the app user you have to just search it, that is user manager dot find by email async, and in which you can just use user dot email. And after that you can use get awaiter as well as the get result, because the user manager is actually a taskable type, or you can say generic types. So you can use it here. And just now after that you have to use the next one is just after that you have to assign the role to the user, that is admin. Okay, so everything is fine. Okay, so here we have the data seeding part is ready. Now just call that method in the program.cs file by using just you have to create a service first of all for the IDB initializer. Now just after that create a scope, and by using the service provider, that is the service collection, then you can just call the service, that is a db initializer dot idb initializer that dot initial method. So first of all add that service, and in the middleware you have to add, that is the data seeding, that is the method. So create a method stub right there, void data seeding. Okay, so you have that is the where scope equals to app.service.create scope, and after that scope, by using the scope you have to just call service provider dot get required service, and in which you can just call idb initializer, and after that you have to call initial method. After that, just call your dbinitializer.initial method. You have to run your application. But when we run our application, then got a error message, and that error message is not not register your service application, because you know that IDB initializer use a role manager class. So use identity role in the add identity method, because add identity is used application user as well as the role. So here we have application user and identity role instead of add default identity. So after adding that application as a role, that then you have to save application user with the identity role. So now just after that you have to run your application. Now again you got an error message, that is email sender is not activate when that is unable to resolve service. So just use email sender and just create a email sender class and register that, or you can say that inject as a service dependency injection email sender with the email sender class. Now your application is working and your registry page is looking like that. It's much beautiful. Just when we click on the login button, it's that is older version, but just I am going to just change this with the new one. Okay, so wait for some times. Just I want to change and just replace this and make a new one. Okay, so here we have a register.cshtml file and .cs file. Just I am going to add a new role for the customer. So that is after that creating successfully, that result is succeeded, then just you have to assign a user to the role that is customer. Okay, so after that you have to run your application and you will got any error, and if it is not authenticated, as well as there we have some error message, just check this application to register into your application.